Now today, maybe you are anticipating the death of a father, a mother, or another loved one who is near death. Or maybe you've already lost them. How do you handle grief? Well, Dr. Erwin Lutzer is a loving pastor who has helped many people with this problem. I'd like you to listen to his advice.
John, as a pastor, I've had the responsibility of counseling many people when it comes to this topic of grief. And it's necessary that we say something about it, because we can talk about the glories of heaven, but the reality is that death is still our enemy. And because it's our enemy, we have to know how to handle that transition period. Let me say, first of all, that the Scripture says, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?" If your relative, if your friend, if your wife or husband died and they're believers in Jesus, the sting has been taken out of death. Still hurts. You know, a bee can only sting you once. Once it has stung, it cannot sting you again. Jesus Christ absorbed the sting of death for those who believe. And therefore, death is still fearful, but its sting has been removed. How do we face this business of grief? And I speak to some of you who perhaps are anticipating the death of a father or a loved one who is near death. How do you handle it? Well, first of all, let me say that death is very normal. It's okay to cry. Jesus wept at the tomb of Lazarus. But at the same time, there is such a thing as unhealthy grief. There's good grief, and there's some bad grief. I remember a woman, bless her heart, years after her husband died, she would not touch anything in his study. It had to be just the way it was when he died, because she thought that if she were to tinker with it or sell the house, that she'd be disrespectful to him. No, that is unhealthy grief. You know, in the Old Testament, they had a period of mourning that was 40 days. Even if you take 80 days or 100 days, at some point you have to say that the transition has been made. You know, I'm not saying that you're ever going to forget or that it is ever going to be easy, but you must move on. It's a time of transition. So feel free to weep. We all feel that pain.